Hey, welcome to the second part, A460 SolidWorks tutorial, part 2, creating the fuselage. We have the wing file saved already from part 1, so let's go ahead and make a new part in SolidWorks. So the way we're going to break this up is we're going to go ahead and make 3 sketches. We're going to make a side profile sketch, a top profile sketch, and a front profile sketch. So let's go ahead and start with the side profile. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to want to sketch on the right plane. So this right plane is going to be our side profile of our aircraft. We're doing it in 3 profiles so that we can make surfaces using the boundary layers. So we will go ahead and make a center line first. This will be our span of the fuselage, and then we'll make another center line. This will be our height of the fuselage. We want to make it symmetric with the center line, so we can click both points holding control and then click the center line again, and you can see our add relations will come up. Just click add symmetry, and now they're symmetric. Let's add some dimensions. So let's say we will have a 40-foot long fuselage, so 40 times 12 because I'm in inches, and we want a 7-foot height or 7-foot diameter fuselage, so 7 times 12 is going to be a passenger plane. Being able to seat some passengers maybe in the inside. Okay. So the side profile view, we need to break it up into 2 sketches. That way we can use them as guide curves. So let's go ahead and we'll make the nose. It's going to be our nose right here. We're going to go into the passenger section, and then let's say we just have a straight section to our trailing edge. Okay, so we can add some dimensions here. We'll say we could have a 25-foot long passenger section. We could have an 8-foot cockpit. There we go. And then we will also want to add a relation between that point and this line. Here we go. We want to make sure that they're horizontal, so we can click on that point and then the front point of that line and make them horizontal. This will keep this top line always restrained, so that if we change this height, it'll change with it. And the same thing, so if we change this fuselage length, it'll change. But obviously we've already constrained our passenger section and our cockpit, so the only section that would change is our trailing edge, which might be beneficial when you're creating your aircraft, since the CG is going to change, and your trailing edge position of your horizontal and vertical might change depending on the stability calculations later on in the project. Okay, so we can go ahead and make that. So again, we're going to want to make the bottom section. Again, on the right plane, we want to mirror this same cockpit here, except instead of a curved top section, we're going to go straight. So now we're just going to we're going to convert the passenger section and the trailing edge section. So we click on both of them, click convert entities. There we go, they're converted. We want to make a center line for those entities. So now we can mirror these entities on that center line. We want to click both of those, and we want to mirror about the center line. And there we go. We want to change the original ones back to construction lines because we don't need those. And we want to make a straight section from the leading edge to that point again. Okay. And that's our fuselage right profile view of what it would be. Obviously, it can change depending on your aircraft. So let's do the top sketch now. So we'll click on sketch, top plane. We can reorient to the top. Say for this part we will have a straight nose cone, and then we'll slightly angle out, maybe to blend with the wing. And then let's say we have a curved spline here, so we want to dramatically curve it into our wing. And then we can also fix some points. So say we want to fix this point so it matches with this point. This is where the cockpit would end. We can make them horizontal so that matches up. We can fix some more points if needed, but that works for now. Okay, so now we have a top profile view, a side profile view, and we will do a front profile view. So the front profile view gets a little bit tricky depending on how curved your system is. We need to make some new planes, so we can go to click on Features, Reference Geometry, Plane. We want to make the first plane parallel to the front plane, so we click on Front Plane and Parallel. And then the second plane, we want it to be where the cockpit ends, so we'll click that reference point of where the cockpit ends as the second point, and then OK. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a sketch on that. This is going to be our front profile view of the aircraft. We can use splines, we can use circles, just depending on what you want. Splines right here is going to be the easiest for making curved shapes. Most commercial aircrafts, you're not going to have many curves. Or maybe just use a half circle. But say for the supersonic business jet, you want to make it curved for the design. So we make a spline with 3 points. We can click the end point and the curvature of our right profile, holding Control, and then we can add a pierce relation, and we can do the same thing for the bottom and the same thing for that third point, so that it pierces all two profiles. So now we're going to do the same thing 3 more times. We could do it 2 more times. So we want to go ahead, add another plane, make it parallel to the front, and we want to intersect this new point where the profile changes again. So we can sketch on that plane, can add a spline. We'll make it this one we can make a spline with more points. So this could be a 5-point spline just to get more shape to it. Let's go ahead and hide that front plane so I can see it better. We want to pierce the right profile, top and bottom, and then we want to pierce the top profile again there. Now we can edit our spline, we can add dimensions. This could be our cockpit section, and then say our passengers, our cockpit ends right there, and we want to blend it with our wing, so we could add some blend here. Bottom one we can adjust for the cockpit again. So this would add a slight blend for the wing. And then again, we can hide that. And now we can do a third one on this last point over here. So we need to add another plane. We always want parallel to the front plane because the front plane won't ever change. The second point will be that point right here. By making it that point, it's not quite where the fuselage ends, but it allows it, so if that point changes, then it'll also change our right plane, which is great for later on if things change. So we'll want to make a sketch on that plane. Using splines again, we use 5 spline points. We'll pierce that top side, pierce the bottom side, pierce into the top profile, and then we can change our splines to add some curves. We could actually define we could add relations on these and make them fully defined. So this will curve, we'll have a high curve onto this. There we go. And I'll change this bottom one slightly. Okay. Be probably good to do 2 more where this ends. That way we can get a new shape. That way we can go back to a circle instead of this spline, because if not, this spline will carry into the trailing edge. If you want that, that's good. But it doesn't hurt to add another plane. Just add a plane, make it parallel to the front. Second reference. We can even just make it this last spline point. Let me go that last spline point. And we could sketch. And we can make, say, a 3-point spline. If you notice, you can just always add the splines anywhere. Makes it easy, because you can always just add the relations. Pierce. Pierce again. And we're going to pierce on that line. There we go. And as you notice, when you pierce the splines, it fully constrains them, but you still have the ability to change the shapes of them, which is nice. But okay.